the eye in with this. A gilder is someone who applies gold leaf to just about anything. Domes, furniture, picture frames is what I specialize in. To be a gilder, you have to learn to breathe through your ears. The gold flies everywhere. You breathe and the gold flies away, so you have to control your breath. You have to find that moment of quietude. You have to isolate yourself from all distractions. And then you have to control the gold because it has a mind of its own. It's thin. It's 1/250,000th of an inch. It dissolves in your hand. You have all of this material that is so unruly, that fluctuates with the wind and the temperature and the humidity. So you have to pretty much control the gold leaf. Making the gold leaf behave is something that you have to master if you're going to be successful at this craft. I worked for the National Portrait Gallery from 1972 to 82, and it was there that I developed a sense of the importance of this. I was able to figure out how to copy antique frames as well as restore them. And I was the only person in the museum answering the questions from the public. And so I didn't have the answers, so I needed to find the answers being a public servant. And so I spent 10 years trying to gather this information. And it was at that point that I decided that I would start my own company and continue the same historical approach. There's a subtle irony here that a frame that's the most successful is not noticed. And it serves the painting. It's like a supporting actor in a play. It shouldn't overshadow the piece. The only time a frame can overshadow something is when it's a mirror. And that's when the artisan can really sing and produce something that's historically interesting and perhaps has iconography and symbols on it. But those are types of frames that are used to convey information. Years ago, I called the Buddhist Relief Agency because I was having trouble finding artists who could get into the details and maintain the quality. So after failing over and over, several years later, these two gentlemen showed up from Cambodia. They lived in Silver Spring and began working for me, and I realized that they had the right skills because they were carvers, but they had never done gilding. So I trained them to gild, but they brought a certain skill set and a mentality with them. The woman from Poland is a specialist in making mats, and these are passepartout or windows that are cut out of paper that people look through. It's a transition between the frame and the painting. Well, she's not just technically proficient, she also has a great aesthetic in the history of her mount making, they call it in Europe. It gave her the ability to do that. And we found her through a French company that had gone out of business here.
Black with the black.
I just think it's sort of public indifference to frames that matters. And also there's fewer people that can actually make a living doing gilding. Most people off the street aren't requesting gilded objects every day. This is a kind of a specialized field. And tastes change. younger generations aren't really interested in necessarily conserving antiques. Most people don't value the frame very much. They think about the artwork, which they should, of course. But the frame is so integral to the artwork. You can really elevate a $20 poster with a fantastic frame, and the same, you can really devalue a beautiful portrait with the wrong one.
When I got back from the American Academy in Rome, I formed the Institute for Frame Study as a not-for-profit public archive. And over the last 25 years, I've been collecting the information, and we're going to be putting it on the William and Mary website, where people can research artists by name and see the kinds of frames that they used. It's just a beginning, but it's a noble start. And there'll also be a collection of frames that will be a study collection that will be used by scholars throughout the world to come and study the origins and histories of frames. We also hope to create an academic study program based on this, so that people can contribute and draw upon this as a resource in the future. This is a very difficult world for people who, like us, are old world craftsmen. Artificial intelligence is growing by leaps and bounds, and the creative part of my job is what keeps us going. We make absolutely unique objects in the world based on design history, based on our aesthetics, and they become testaments to our time.